me out, you buswhack.
This time on Pete and his bus, I try out this amazing new e-bike.
What? Another e-bike? This is ridiculous. Steve, why are you such a sellout?
Dude, what are you talking about?
This has nothing to do with buses or, more importantly, small Japanese motorbikes.
This is my channel, not your channel.
Yeah, but I'm the only good thing on it.
Listen, I've had enough of this. If you don't shut up, I'm gonna take Monkey and throw her off a cliff.
Okay, e-bikes, please tell us more.
The lovely people at Crazybird have sent me a giant box, and inside it is their brand new e-bike called the Jumper. That's right, not cardigan, Jumper. The only problem is, this bike doesn't come with a toolkit. It comes with a tools kit. Big difference, apparently. The build time on this bike is between 20 and 30 minutes, and I'm gonna have to figure it out all by myself because the only instruction manual I got is in French. But when I unveil the body, I suddenly realize this color is absolutely stunning. The big tires on this bike seem odd at first, but the motor has got to fit inside them in the rear hub. And they're not heavy, they're super lightweight. Actually quite impressive. I make good progress, but that tools kit is absolutely useless. It does, however, come with proper metal pedals, so things are looking good. Let's see what it's like to ride. I am taking the Crazybird Jumper on a ride to a garden center which apparently has a Routemaster bus in it. Now, it's not a million miles away from me, it's been there for a very long time, but I've actually never seen it, so let's check it out. First impressions on the e-bike are good. It feels fast, and I soon find the sweet spot, which is power assistance level 3, which will have you cruising at around 20 miles an hour, have nice light resistance at the pedals, and this speed is more than enough for all the small roads and cycling paths. But believe it or not, I have had it up to 45 miles an hour. It never ceases to amaze me where Routemasters show up. We're looking at RM1104. She was new to London Transport in 1962, privatised to London Central in 1994, fitted with a new engine in 1998, sold to Ensign in 2004, and then sold again to the Friday Ad a year later, and they've had it ever since. And they moved it to the Upcountry Garden Centre in 2014, where it stands today. Now, the really friendly staff did inform me that it does actually get used. At Halloween it becomes a spooky bus and the children get to go on and get scared and all sorts, and at Christmas of course Santa gets on the bus and hands out presents. But it is a bit of a shame that it's just sitting there standing still, not being driven. But I get the feeling that the owner does genuinely love it, because he's got more than one and he's owned them for a considerable amount of time. So let's have a look at what they've done inside. Well, actually, they've done very little. We've got original seats, or actual seats, a bit of green paint, some sort of a serving counter, a telly, and a load of tables. Mind you, the ceiling could do with a bit of paint. Right, and now for upstairs. She is pretty beaten up in here, but it is very refreshing to see a bus as a bus. Now remember I mentioned she had an engine change in '98? This is the good bit. What have we got under here? What? Ah, ooh, hello. So to the purist, you'd always want an AEC engine. But if you're going to actually use your bus and do eventing or things like what I do, this is actually very nice. It's the Scania engine, and this one actually operates with the original gearbox. That's pretty cool. makes it very usable. So a bit ironic then, sitting here not being driven and having that engine which is ideal for being driven. It is, however, lovely to see her here, and one day, should she need rescuing, I know a crack team. At this point, I was going to turn around and go home, but I was actually really enjoying this bike, so I decided to ride on till the land ran out. And when I got there, guess what I ran into? That's right, people, another Routemaster. You get two for the price of one today. You are looking at RML 2317. She was new in 1965 as a London country bus, so she was painted green. She went to service at Godstone and she'll have worked alongside my very own bus in green, RML 2355. 2317 went back to red and to the central London area in 1977, was fitted with an Ebike engine in 1991 and eventually withdrawn from service in 2004. And in that year, she was taken over by Metro Bus and went back to Godstone and painted in green. And she was also fitted with, believe it or not, the Scania engine in 2004 as well. Eventually she was sold to Brighton and Hove in 2009 and painted in the red, cream and grey colours you see here today. Total and utter coincidence, but very nice to see a Routemaster do exactly what it was designed to. And now back to the e-bike. Even though the manual was in French and the tools kit was absolutely useless, I have really struggled to fault this bike today. It perhaps could do with a rear light rather than a reflector, but I am nitpicking here. The build quality is superb, the performance is excellent, the brakes are spot on, and having covered around 40 miles today, I can confirm that the suggested 62.5 mile range is every bit achievable. Quite refreshing really to use an electric vehicle that actually has the range the manufacturer states. So do I recommend the Crazybird jumper? Well, it's going to take me a while to get used to the name, but yes, I recommend it very much indeed. Hello and welcome to another episode of Pete and His Bus. I'd like to thank Crazybird for sponsoring this episode. By the way, guys, just so you know, they give me a bike and what I say or do with it is completely up to me. So if I think it's rubbish, I'd tell you. But I'm telling you now, this bike is absolutely brilliant. I've ridden it loads since I filmed the segment. I've taken it to my local pub and it just annihilates hills. So you just end up with the fun bit of cycling, not the horrible bit of cycling. If any of you are interested in this bike, check out the website which is on the screen now, and if you'd like to buy one, why not get some money off and use my discount code, which is really simple, it is PETE. Alright, so check out Crazybird, they make some brilliant bikes. Now, why we're all here is because we want to know what happened to the Heathfield Routemaster. Now, we've had real logistical problems getting there because Lord Barrington and I are both very busy. And one of the reasons we've had to wait so long is because I've still had loads of events on with RML 2355 later on in the season. And in fact, one of them was so popular last year, we had to change it up. And this is that event. Out. So the bus made it to the Excel Centre, no issues, and for once I did not lose any coolant, which makes my life a lot more pleasurable. I'm here for the National Tattoo Show like I did last year. They're using the bus again because they loved it. The only problem is last year we were a victim of our own success. The bus was so popular and the queues were so long that they asked me to provide a second bus. Now, as most of you know, my second bus isn't quite finished, but I do have very good friends of mine that have a similar setup. So I've asked them to come along and they are called Big Red Bus Bar. You are looking at RML 2690. Now there's a funny bit of history with this bus because I actually tried to buy it many years ago because it was already converted to a bar. But whilst I was trying to negotiate the price, a certain Helen and Nick came along and they beat me to it. I then went and built 2355 to my own spec, and when I entered it into the industry, I soon found out that Helen and Nick are very lovely indeed, and they have become good friends. And now, in the very niche bus bar market, we help each other out. And now a closer look at Big Red Bus Bar. But first, a small confession on my behalf. You might notice that the bar downstairs looks very similar to mine. That's because I copied it when I couldn't buy it. And it's a credit to RML 2690 because it just works so well. But from a stylistic point of view, I took a more traditional approach, whereas Big Red Bus Bar is really cool, funky, with loads of modern tech and cool LED lighting. This bus has been in the industry as a bar for the longest out of all of them, and it's a credit to Helen and Nick because after all these years in an industry which is renowned to be very hard wearing, it still looks razor sharp.
There you go, the big London Tattoo Show. A massive thank you to Martin who puts that event on, and also of course Big Red Bus Bar who came and joined me. It was lovely to catch up with them. When one bus bar simply isn't enough. A problem lots of bar owners probably would enjoy. Right, let's get to it. Lord Barrington and I have been back to RM843 and this is what happened.
The last time we were with RM843, we actually managed to get the engine going after 14 attempts. It was a wonderful moment, and believe it or not, most of the internet has now actually seen it.
She sounds beautiful! Wow! I'm so happy!
But even though we got her running, the bus wasn't without its faults. We had brake oil coming out of one side.
Whoops!
And a broken reducer valve meant we couldn't select any gears.
Oh, there it is. Look.
All of this meant that RM843 had to stay in this wretched field once again. But we are now back, and this time, we're not leaving this field unless RM843 comes with us. The first time we failed. The second time we also kind of failed. The third time we nearly did it. But This time, we're staying till we succeed. Lord Barrington has entered the building.
So as you might have guessed, we are back at RM843 and today's mission is to get her moved from the spot she has been in for God knows how long. Here we go. So this is the reason why she won't move. It is called the reducer valve, and it basically regulates the correct pressure for the gearbox to choose a gear. Let's go fit it! Seems to be going very well, but before we even get to lunchtime, we've already hit a problem. So whilst Lord Barrington is fighting with the reducer valve downstairs because the old fitting doesn't fit the new one, he's going to make one good one out of two. I've come upstairs on 843 to sort this glass out. It is about time that this bus was waterproof again so this interior doesn't get completely and utterly overgrown with moss. I'm going to start with the tricky ones, which is the ones that have the drop down window in them, and we'll see how we get on with the materials that we have. So I've got the bar out, we just need to make sure that we get all this remaining glass out. That's more like it. So we reckon the wood up here is a bit soft. I mean, you tell me. Hold on. Yeah, I think so. And there we go. All the caps back on. The bar is in place. And there is glass where there wasn't. Gently. Easy, easy. So that's the two trickiest windows back in the bus. And for the rest, we have to remove some of this horrible, smelly, mouldy furniture to gain good access. Oh, he's such a happy boy.
Oh, hold on for a bit of vinyl. Oh, here you go, Pete, take it home with you.
I didn't even notice. Straight out. Oh. Come out, man. Ah, yes.
Look that over there.
Oh, yes. Straight out the window? Why did I ask? So we found some cool badges, and they announced that we've been on the Bravo bus. Haven't we just, Lord Barrington? Oh yes.
Now that we have access, Lord Barrington puts in a new drop-down panel that was smashed up, and I get ready to put in the last remaining panes of glass to make the upstairs somewhat more waterproof. As I fit the last pane of glass to RM843, I am reliably informed that the reducer valve issue downstairs has been solved.
I hope you can see me alright because it's getting quite dark up here, but that's day one complete. I'm really pleased with the result. I've managed to fit all the glass that Lord Barrington brought with him. Yes, we're still missing one piece at the front, but that will have to be done at a later time because we actually can't find it at the moment. We have it, we just can't find it. So that'll be on the list. We're going to come back tomorrow and hopefully we can get her started and we can get her moved out of this flipping field. So we've done a fair bit of tidying up in here, or shall I say ripping out. And I'm also glad to see that it is already starting to get a lot drier in here with the new windows in place.
With the reducer valve now in situ and ready for action, it's time to face the other problem, which was the leaking brake oil. Luckily, there's a man here with an official title of Lord who has all the skills and the equipment to make the new piece on site.
Whilst Lord Barrington is working on the brake hoses, I'm going to have a quick look to see if I can get these panels removed and reveal the original windows.
We already know that the glass is back there because we revealed it in episode 39, but the question is, how damaged and or altered are the pans from the outside?
I don't know how long that is going to take. Here we go. Oh yes! First reveal in 30 years. And actually the pan is in not too bad a condition. A few extra holes here and there. But how lucky are we that we have the originals in place? Amazing! Amazing!
Having revealed one of the windows, I now obviously want to see the rest.
So I think we're ready for the big reveal. Here we go. One, two, three.
Such a satisfying little job, because she's actually starting to look like a bus again. And suddenly, the interior gets daylight for the first time in 30 years. We never did find that clown.
The brake hoses have been replaced that needed to be replaced. There's oil in the braking system. The accumulators have been charged up to operate the brakes. There's oil in the engine. I think we're ready to go. Here we go. First turn.
Well, that started a lot easier than the last time.
But that time she never managed to build up pressure for the brakes or the gearbox. But this time around...
I didn't before, no. But then it had no brakes.
Oh, brake lights off. Flags up. Oh, and the red one's off too.
So we're just going to let her warm up nicely before we start the big move. Give her a chance to wake up a bit. It's been a while.
Here we go.
I'm actually slightly speechless. For the last 25 to 30 years, this was always one of my favourite fields to drive past because I could catch a glimpse of that cool old bus that was in that field. And now, it'll still be one of my favourite fields to drive past because I know that that cool old bus is no longer in it.
Oh yeah, I'm so pleased. It was just a magical moment when it drove out of that field. You know, this is full circle for me. I've said it many times before, but I tried to buy it over a decade ago. I failed. I then had to watch it decay, but one phone call and 5 days of hard graft have put it back on the road. The owners have done a load of work to it since we've left, which is really great, and there's even talk of it doing events next year, so keep your eyes peeled. You might actually see it out there. So a big thank you goes to the owners because they've had to spend money and they were really helpful in us being able to do this job. A massive thank you to Lord Barrington. Of course, without his skill set, we would have been buggered. And a huge thank you to Crazybird for sponsoring this episode of Pete and his bus. I'd like to also thank all of you for watching and hopefully see you next time on Pete and his bus.
Hey little boy, wanna come and play a game in my den?